Doesn't it feel good when Aston Villa win? It just makes my weekend, it makes everything feel better. Rainbows appear outside, the sky goes clear blue, the sun shines, and all is right with the world. Well, what a win. 4 wins in four now against Everton, 6 in 8 since we came back to the Premier League. We really have a hoodoo over them. It's quite nice to have a team that we seem to have it over because almost everybody else seems to have it against us. So, yes, that run continues. And it's now 4 wins in 5 away games under Unai Emery. We've beaten Brighton, Spurs, Southampton, and now Everton. All away. We lost at Man City, although the second half performance was all right there. So, Everton, well, very impressive. A very good professional win, I think. Everton coming off the back of 2 home wins against Arsenal and Leeds. You think they had the momentum, a lot of energy. We're coming off 3 losses in a row, conceding a lot of goals. So today, I think it was quite clear from the start. The game plan was Aston Villa retain the ball, Everton try and physically overpower us, get the ball to Dwight McNeil as fast as they can, and Dwight McNeil takes on Matty Cash, ball into the box. And in the first half, it kind of worked more in Everton's favour, I thought. I think Villa started very well, but then Everton just kind of physically started overpowering us, which is understandable with that midfield three of Doucouré, Onana, and Idrissa Gueye. And as I said, they were getting the ball quite quickly out to Dwight McNeil, who caused quite a few problems, I thought, first half. He was their danger man, I thought. But a lot of those balls into the box that he was sending, I think if you're Everton, you're probably wishing it's Dominic Calvert-Lewin who's in the area as a striker rather than Neil Maupay, whose strength is not really winning headers, though he did actually get a header and nearly score for them first half. But I think what we were seeing was that first half, Aston Villa very much at the moment are a team in transition. We just are. We've got a new manager who's come in and might not necessarily have the players he wants to play in the style that he wants. But he really is committed to Aston Villa playing it out from the back. And I am delighted that, we kept doing that today. Yes, I think this season there are going to be more mistakes, as we saw against Leicester, for instance, when Kamara gave the ball away. And as we were nearly punished against Arsenal as well, when Ezri Konsa got the ball taken off him and Odegaard missed quite a simple chance for him. So there are going to still be nervous moments from playing out like that. And I think in the first half, there were moments where Everton were very good at putting us under pressure. And there were 1 or 2 loose passes. So they were good at forcing that mistake. But I think, the temptation would have been to just lump it long. But ultimately, all you're going to do really by playing that way is giving it straight back to Everton's big defenders. So I was happy to see Villa continue to try and play football because this is what we are committed to, playing it on the ground. So the key was, I think, to stick to that game plan. And then I think what Emery perhaps wanted to happen was that Villa would kind of tire Everton out. Everton with that heavy press, they're the ones ultimately probably having to do more running if we have more of the ball. And then once they sort of maybe start to tire a little bit, then you get a player like Emi Buendia on who's going to open up a few gaps. Or as gaps open, he's going to play a through ball. So second half, I think Villa came out strong. I thought, again, it was quite similar to the first half. We kind of exerted ourselves. Everton came back in, came incredibly close to scoring a goal. Tyrone Mings, who I thought was really good today, he cleared it off the line. It would have been a very fortuitous goal for Everton, I think, but that's what they're relying on at the moment. Goals that are from set pieces and falls in the area. So I thought Villa handled that pressure well again. And then the first goal came, through a spell where Villa kind of just retained the ball again and eventually managed to work an opening. John McGinn getting into the box and Idrissa Gueye fouling him. And then we made our own luck, really. Along came the penalty. Ollie Watkins took it Very, very good penalty. And I thought Watkins was excellent today. I think if you were to be critical of Watkins and say, why doesn't he play for, say, England? As he has done, but why is he not like a consistent England squad player? You'd probably say one of the things against him is that at times he can be a bit clunky with his first touch. You can't always trust him. But I think him and John McGinn have improved markedly since Unai Emery came in, particularly since the World Cup break. I think McGinn was everywhere today. 2 assists, essentially, for the second goal as well. It was from McGinn. So I thought, I think both of them looked really on it today. I thought they were everywhere. I think Watkins, his hold at play was much better than it has been. I think his one-off, layoffs were really good. He's hustling, you're playing against Tarkowski and Connor Cody, and they're 2 really physical centre-backs. Who wants to play against that? I mean, there can't be too many strikers who look forward to that challenge. And Watkins stood up to it. I think he's a very easy player to underrate, Ollie Watkins. And I think he's working his way back into the England squad at the moment. 5 goals in 5. He was incredibly lucky not to score from open play. Header down. You'd probably say could have kept it down, and ensured it didn't bounce. But that's, it's what happens. And it was a fantastic save from Jordan Pickford. Also worth mentioning, Emi Martinez made 2 really top saves, one in the first half and one in the second half. And that's what happens when you have possibly the world's best goalkeeper. But as I said, Villa kept the ball. They were patient, and eventually it paid off. Then Buendia had come on just before the penalty, came on for Leon Bailey, who I thought was not his best day today. And I think Luca Dean was, again, kind of hit and miss. And I thought if there was going to be substitutions, I thought they were the 2 to make, Moreno and Buendia for Dean and Bailey. And it paid off for Villa. I thought Moreno looked good when he came on as well. So then the second goal, again, just lovely football, patient build-up play. Eventually it works its way to John McGinn, and he holds it, lay off to Buendia, and Buendia takes out effectively, I think it was 3 Everton defenders. Connor Cody's left for dead, Tarkovsky's left for dead, and then to whack it on your weaker foot like that, left foot, as Pickford's racing out of here, 2-0. He loves scoring against Everton, doesn't he? 3-3 against them now. So I thought Buendia, again, made a difference, did exactly what he had to do. And then from there, it was a very professional job from Villa. I think with Everton, I think you could see, I think they're going to eke out some wins this season. I think I'd be very concerned if I was an Everton fan about, and Greg O'Keefe mentioned this on the Rivalries podcast I did with him this week. I'm not, there doesn't look like there's a potent goal-scoring threat there, does there? Oh, they need a Calvert-Lewin back. I think a firing Calvert-Lewin back, and I think then they'd get the goals. I still think they'll get 1-0 wins here and there, but it's gonna they're in it. They're in the fight this season. I think it's going to be a hairy end to the season because it just feels like everyone's beating everyone down at the bottom at the moment, and it was key for Villa really to get that win because if it becomes 4 losses in 4. The negativity starts again. And, we've had a few losing runs in the last couple of years. So to ensure that didn't happen and to do it in a way where Villa were patient on the ball, we kept it on the ground and we outplayed the opposition away from home. We're looking really good away from home at the moment. Brighton win away, the Tottenham win away. It slightly reminded me of the Tottenham winning away, kind of like absorbing pressure, not really giving away too many chances, and then just being patient and hitting them on the break. And I thought McGinn was excellent today. I thought Ollie Watkins was superb. Mings, I really liked. I thought Martinez with a couple of saves. And Jacob Ramsey. Ramsey was quite easy to underestimate today, but I thought he was picking up spaces in between the lines where he was turning. And at times when Villa weren't really in the ascendancy and it felt like Everton were just overpowering us, particularly in the first half, there were still moments I thought Ramsey, he worked hard, kept going at Everton, hustled them, but then he'd pick up a position and charge at them and give them something to think about. And that really is his strength in it, taking it on the half turn between the lines and running at an opposition defence. And I think eventually Ramsey, once he really finds his place in this Emery team, when he gets a goal, I'm interested to see what he does then, because maybe he might just, the confidence will lift and it'll be like, right, another goal will come and another goal. And he might just become one of those players. He seemingly just scores quite a lot. So I'm just going to take a look at the league table. Now, Villa, we're up to 31 points, equal with Chelsea now, amazingly. And so the relegation zone, with 10 points clear of that now. So it was good not to get sucked back into that, because, if Everton win today, they're up to 24 points. We'd have been on 28. And suddenly you start looking over your shoulder again. I don't think we were going to get dragged back into it, but it's just it's nice not to have that pressure and to be able to look further forward in the league and think, all right, we're 4 points off Brighton, who are on 35, and they're in 7th. But they do have a couple of games in hand. Most of the teams above us have a couple of games in hand. So, top half this season is what we have to aim for, I think. Because if we can get there, we haven't been in the top half of the Premier League for more than 10 years now. So to get back into that top half would be awesome. And we can do that with continued professional performances like we saw today. It was really good. So next week, we move on to back home, play Crystal Palace. It'll be next Saturday, 3:00. So I'm looking forward to that. I know Palace haven't played yet when I recorded this, so we'll see how they get on. We got completely outplayed by them, really, at Selhurst Park, a game I was at. Hoping to get to Villa Park to see that game as well. So a good, solid win. I love it. I love it when Villa win. It's good, isn't it? Up the Villa. And please, if you like what we do on this channel, like and subscribe, do all the good stuff, and see you again for our next podcast, which we'll be recording later. Catch you in a bit, and up the Villa.